Sachi convinced me to go back and look under my desk, and oh, hi, welcome, citizens. Just the guys arrived and returned to a song of sunlight, and of course, that's where it was. Should have been the first place I looked. You know, glad you found it. Mm-hmm. Um, are you are you feeling okay today, Con? Yeah, I am. Why? You've been so quiet lately. Is it the hunger pains? I get them all the time. What? No, it's nothing like that, bro. It's the end of the day. Just eager to finish packing up so we can go home. Is it the journeymen? Are they being cruel to you again? Brava. I already... Just say who it is. Point them out and I'll talk to them. Brava. I won't let it keep happening, okay? I dropped the box I was lifting onto the shelf loudly, spitting to face Brava. God above. How many times do I have to keep repeating myself to this damn girl? She just won't let up. I felt my frustration boil over. My God, Brava, I snapped. I don't need your help with anything like that. It's not a problem, so stop asking about it. Immediately, I knew I shouldn't have raised my voice. Brava fell silent, casting her eyes aside in embarrassment. She shuffled her feet, clasping her hands at her waist. We passed a moment in tense silence. Right, she said, finally, her voice thin and quiet. Okay, then. If you ever need me, just say my name and I'll come for you wherever you are. A moment later, Prava reached behind her and produced a small notebook. She opened it delicately, taking up the charcoal stick pressed in between the pages and began writing. I watched her scribble away as she so often did, feeling like there was a weight in my stomach. I must have given that to her more than 10 years ago. And she still... I started to speak without thinking. God. Uh-oh. Don't say something you're gonna regret. Don't say something you're gonna regret. You're really still using that old thing. Just toss it already. There are plenty of notebooks around. Immediately, she stopped writing. First, Pravo looked up at me, eyes wide, and then down to the notebook in her hands. She seemed to study it intensely for a few seconds, ultimately tucking the notebook back into her menage. I'll be right back, Con, she said quietly. I forgot that I left something in the other room. That, she walked briskly past me and through the door. Is she gonna go extort the, quote, Aram? The sound of her footsteps echoed through the nearly empty building, and I realized she hadn't actually gone anywhere at all. She was standing on the other side of the doorway, just out of my sight, probably, crying. There was a faint whimper. And then, barely perceptible above the ocean winds, there was quiet sobbing. It was faint. Like everything possible was being done to cover it up. That's her. It was over in under a minute, and just as quickly as she'd left, Brava came back in, stopping just short of me. I stared, biting my tongue to keep myself from saying even a word. Anything at all. She wiped her eyes and extended her hand, smiling. Should we go home? Brava, you are such a good kid. You deserve better. It's not enough. Brava's angry voice cut the quiet evening air. You're not doing enough. I looked at Brava nervously, noticing the dark circles under her reddened eyes. Her hair was unkempt. As she slept, I spoke up. I've done everything you've asked of me. If you just tell me what it is that's... Brava stepped forward, grabbing the collar of my shirt. What exactly have you been saying to him? She spat. He's gotten worse. Suddenly letting go, Brava stumbled back, putting her head in her hands. Oh, God above, she moaned. I can feel it, Aram. He's pulling away from me. I came forward slowly, trying to put a hand on her shoulder. Brava, I began. He needs space. Just back off for a while. Brava shoved me away, slapping my hand aside. He's your friend, she hissed. Your best friend. And you couldn't care less. I didn't respond. You're so busy with that precious well of yours, running about in that dark, empty nothingness, paying no mind at all while your friends are at home starving and suffering. Her words transformed my uneasiness to fear. Prava, I'm going to ask again. How do you know so much about the well? Prava was quiet for a moment, seeming to cut her tirade short. She put her head in her hands once more. Oh, she said slowly. I know what this is. It's you. Her voice was almost shaking. You're the one pulling him away from me. You're feeding him all sorts of ideas, turning him against me. Her head shot up and she stared at me. Her eyes were like I'd never seen them before. I put up my hands disarmingly, afraid of what she might do. Prava, please, I said. You're acting. I swallowed my words and reconsidered. It's not like that. I promise you it's not. Prava didn't speak for a long while. Go home, she said, finally. Go home, Aram. Convince him. Convince Kanari to tell me how he's really feeling. He won't talk to me. I need to know. Communication is key, everyone. We haven't seen Sachi in a while, have we? Not now. Well, then when? Oh, we're still... Alright, let's just do the run. Which is the one with people in it? We gotta at least go check by hospice so we can, what? So we can get the upgrade. Things are falling apart, guys. I'm worried about them. What can we do? Why does he keep doing that? Gimme. Oh my gosh, it's a good thing I still have some money. That would be scary. Right, so it is now at 7 uses. And it will heal 80 or so health. So it's basically a full heal now. Alright, let me rest. I don't have enough for any level ups now. However... 28. Short range, though. Ugh, I don't know. Nope, you don't want to battle. Alright, let's just go. Things are looking rough for our characters. Looking better. Have you fully recovered yet? I don't think you ever told me what it was. It was my stomach, and it's pretty much completely gone away now. Sorry to worry you. It'd be nice if in future installments these two get apart, but I don't know. Watch. I held out my palm, concentrating. The air shimmered and a dim indigo light hovered above my hand. After about a minute, there was a soft sound as a small stone knife fell into my hand. Paolo looked closely. A knife? He asked. I nodded. I'm down to about a minute for permanence, but I could make a temporary one in a few seconds if I needed to. I've been practicing a lot. Tala seemed impressed. Just this week, he asked? I nodded again. I don't know many materials yet, but... Tala leaned in, studying the knife. It's not bad. Are you really doing all of this because of that message you found? How do you know? It's true. I decided a demonstration would be easiest. Gripping the knife tightly, I turned and slashed the nearby wall. As soon as the blade made contact, there was a soft crackling noise and a cloud of dust kicked up from where I made contact. As it dissipated, it revealed a deep cut in the stone wall several inches deep. The stone had been pulverized. Tala's eyes widened. This knife is already about 30 seconds old, so it's lost some of its power, I said, inspecting my work. Against something as old as these walls, though, it does a lot of damage. The effectiveness seems to taper out pretty rapidly, so if I could land a hit within just a few seconds, it should be devastating. Tala nodded thoughtfully. Have you tried it against them yet? He asked. Ancestors, I mean. I shook my head. That's what tonight is for, to test my theory. Interesting. Is that what the mysterious equipment slot's going to be for? Like spells or... Not spells, I guess archimancy? An alloy shield. Oh, there's another one here. Ionized inflicts electrocution buildup. Interesting, I guess. We have two mystery things. I'm guessing one of these is archimancy. And so then, like, the sun could be like, because it's like, you know, Song of Sun, like, children of the sun, the god of sun. I'm guessing that's the idea, that it's like sun power. Which way do we want to go? I guess this way? I do not remember. When and why did we stop? Ah, I'm starting to remember. I'm remembering. Nope, bad move. Wait a minute. Was there anything past here? Or did this is where we stopped, yeah? Yes. Rata slums. Ooh. We're probably gonna find some things out we won't like to hear here. Appendage. Are you peaceful? There was an ancestor blocking my path ahead. It was one of the slower, more sluggish ones. This is as good an opportunity as any. I stepped forward carefully and readied my hands. I focused my mind on the stone dagger I'd been practicing for days, over and over again, until I could picture it in vivid, unshaken detail. This time I'll need to do it quickly. Very quickly. I felt my pulse quicken. Trying not to let my nerves throw off my focus, I finally mustered myself to charge forward. Combat Archimancy intro, here we go! In combat, Arkham used Archimancy to create temporary weapons and extend his attack combos. Take advantage of the interaction between old and new Archimancy to deliver devastating blows to enemy ancestors. To initiate an Archimancy attack, you must first land every hit in an attack combo. If you miss a single hit, you'll have to wait until your next attack to try again. You'll notice that the purple Archimancy meter will fill as you complete your attack combo. And the final hit, when the purple meter is full, hold down instead of releasing it, and you'll immediately launch into an Archimancy attack. Practice initiating an Archimancy attack in combat Arkham. Alright, I'm nervous. Wait, what? Okay, so you have to... It's not a third hit. It's a... Once Arm has created the temporary weapon with Archimancy, you'll immediately begin attacking again. Attacking with a temporary weapon works the same as standard weapon. Press A right in the outer ring. Once your Archimancy attack is complete, or you miss an attack, the temporary weapon will crumble into dust. However, you'll also get a brief Archimancy ability advantage for several turns following the attack. These abilities are very such. Keep that in mind until the previous ability advantage is exhausted before you perform. Jesus. Oh no. Using Archimancy attack costs faith, but you regain a small amount by destroying enemies, or all of it by resting at a campsite. You decrease your faith by upgrading your penitence attribute. Oh god. Similarly, you can increase the damage dealt with your Archimancy weapons by upgrading your insight attribute. Lastly, note that Archimancies are equipped in your loadout menu and associated with either your primary or secondary weapon. You may have up to 2 Archimancies equipped at any time, and the weapon you attack with dictates which Archimancy you will use for your Archimancy attack. Use what you've learned to defeat the enemy. Jesus. Whoops. I mean, it was okay. My heart was pounding. It worked. It worked even better than I thought it would. For the first time in many weeks, I felt something like a sense of encouragement come over me. For once, I have a single advantage over this horrible place. I don't know. This might make things harder. Damage dealt during stagger attacks. Duration 4 turns, knockback weak. Alright, so I guess I've got to start upgrading all that nonsense, eh? Oh, good. Don't have enough to level anything up, though, so that's unfortunate. Metaru! However... still here. Damn it. Having a guy right by where we rest would be great for practicing this. Oh well. Maybe there's somebody out here? Nope. Holy moly. We're relatively close. Ow, shit. That was not my best showing. Metaru! Interesting. Shit. Oh boy. Okay, so that's a no-go for now. Even more fun, I'm out of juice for my new special attacks. Strap and dodge. Insurgent sidearm. A narrow, retractable blade deals extra damage for each nearby enemy. I mean, I just gotta get better at using weapons. Is kind of the thing. Wait, didn't I already... Yes. Let's go down. And then we'll go down even further beyond. A lot of metal. A lot of metal. Damn it! Oh, that's it. Oh, God. Okay, you're dead. I hope. Uh-oh. Salvage Lock. Destroying enemies restores a small amount of health. Could be good down the road if I were to betray Sachita and take off her thing, but since I'm not going to do that, it's useless to me. Shit. I thought it was my turn. I hit triangle to heal. I fucked up big. I fucked up big. God, now I'm lost. No, 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 no. Wait. God. Maybe I'm not lost. Nope. I'm lost. I'm so lost. Maybe now I am found. Whoops. Alright, I think we can get there pretty quickly. Shabba dabba babba dabba dooba dabba beeba dabba labba looba labba. am not going to use up my stuff, though. Oops. Alright, that's fine, I guess. Oh, I just should have gone the other way. Okay, made it past that. We're fine, we're alive. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. So this is not an exit door. Oh God. Let's give it a second. Okay. Okay, that's a shortcut. Hold on. I need to go right here. Level up. Oh God, it still costs this much? Well, it is what it is, I guess. Okay, before we go that way, let's clear out the rest of this building. as is this. Insurgent's buckler. Oh, I hit circle. A little closer. Damn it. Wham, bam. Grab this. Is this I go in? Okay, I think we're over here already, so. Yes. So, is that everything that this building has to offer me? It may well be. Oh, Jesus! Shit. Oh, shit. My brain is not good at switching on the fly like that to these things. Shit. A mode that just, because it's like, you're not like you could do two things at once. If it was, it would be a lot easier if it was just one button, you know? Perfect blocks. Standard blocks will reduce that bonus. Okay. Like, what benefit is there right now to it working like that? You know, not to get all critical, but I'm gonna get a little critical, I guess, but what is the benefit of it working that way and not, say, so that it's just the button you push, you know? Right now we've got, I guess, 5 shots of it before we need to recharge, I guess. What did it say? It refills when you kill enemies or some such thing? Something like that. Alright, I gotta say, you are not pulling all these trips off in 2 hours, though, my dude. Okay, this is ominous. Oh, dear. There was a small pile of message cards atop a long table. I picked one up that looked functional and quickly slotted it into the message reader, watching the green characters slowly fade in. This is my report on the last of the specimens you provided me. I'll be elated beyond belief when I can wash my hands of this vile work. Simply put, The dead. Not a single infant lived longer than a few days after introducing the gene, just like the others. It's what I've been telling you for months. Nothing about the potency of the embryo's existing gene going in improves their viability. It's impossible. We can't supplant our children with stolen genes. I cannot. What political implications this has. I'd like only to be left out of the senseless killing of so many children. I know, of course, what you have planned for me now. Don't trouble yourself. There's no need to send the vanguard to my cell. When you read this, I'll be gone already. The freedom fighters gave me an ultimatum last night. I'm to join the cause or they'll kill me. They intend to storm the upper strata, throwing body after body at the terminal until they break through. I'm to be just another piece of fodder in a losing battle. But I intend to go willingly, you see. Given the choice to die at your hands, no longer useful in the carrying out of such inhumane and depraved acts, or die cut to pieces in the small hope that we might end this oppression, at least the latter might redeem some modicum of what I've done. Farewell. That sure happened. These don't have a boss coming up, but I bet you do. We're kind of due for one, aren't we? Especially now that we've got a new special power. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is getting cinematic. Dive to the... Ah, okay, I'll take that. How am I doing for, thingies? Let me see here. Ancestors 100, that's... 1,500. It's not a thing. It's about 1,500. Are those all I have? It's 4K, like... It's not many... 600. Oh... I want to save these for like until it becomes a point when I really need them. All right, what do we got, Aram? I stepped through the threshold of what appeared to be the remains of a great metal door. It was enormous, nearly twice my height. Stepping through, I examined the layered metal which had now rusted and ripped apart and collapsed. At some point, the door must have been incredibly thick, perhaps several feet thick all the way through. Whatever it was meant to protect, I thought, was meant to be kept absolutely inaccessible. When I saw what was in the center of the room, my heart stopped. It looks like... Oh, is it going to be... All right, my guess. It's their thingy. The thingy, from the festival. Oh, an elevator. Never mind. Immediately, I ran forward to get a closer look. It was unmistakable. Uh-oh. Does that mean my other prediction was right and it's the end? No. It looked almost exactly like the one I'd seen in the area above the strata. The terminal authority hadn't been lying. There were others. What's more, it seemed to be in significantly better condition than the other. I swung the door to the small room open, looking around eagerly. The interior looked identical to the one I'd seen, but free of rubble and debris. The panel on the wall seemed in better shape as well. I came close and tried to see if there was a way to interact with the elevator somehow. I didn't exactly know what I was looking for, but I'd formed somewhat of an intuition about the strange mechanisms I'd encountered in the well. There was some invisible force that seemed to connect devices together. It allowed one to pull a lever or press in a small indent and open a door or activate some other contraption. Surely this elevator is no different. I fiddled with the panel for some time with no luck. Stepping back outside to take another look, I was reminded of the raised panel just by the elevator door. I stepped close and put my hands on it. Does this look right? The other elevator's panel had a lever of sorts. There's nothing like that here. My heart sank. Did it break off? Shit! Not again! I was beginning to panic when a thought occurred to me. I recalled the stone dagger I'd practiced so hard to perfect. Maybe I don't need the original lever. It just needs something that's the same shape. If I return to the other elevator and study its lever, I might be able to make a copy that works. Quickly, I pulled a scrap of paper and charcoal stick from my bag and made a sketch of the panel. I noted down the rough dimensions of the indent where the lever was supposed to fit for later. The other elevator is quite a ways up from here. I suppose I'll return to the surface and make a sketch of the lever itself on my way back. I'll perform the archimancy tonight and then return tomorrow to try it. Yes, this will work. It has to work. So, how are we going to do this game? I climbed the stairs to the second floor of my home, heart beating out of my chest. I came to the top, eager to get to my room, and saw Kanari. He was sitting, slumped against the wall just outside the doorway to his sleeping room. Warm light danced across the floor from the flickering lanterns hanging on the ceiling. He looked tired. His eyes were unfocused and his head was tilted downwards. He hardly even reacted as I came up. I stood for a moment, expecting him to launch into conversation as he usually did, to tell a story or make fun of someone he dealt with that day, but there was nothing. He's quiet again tonight. I shifted my feet uneasily, thinking about what Prava had said. Her desperate pleas. No. I should follow my own advice. I'll leave him alone. I'm not an asshole. That's what he would want, right? I turned, trying to put it out of my head and focus on making the lever. I'd hardly taken a full step when something stopped me again. It was a heavy feeling in my chest. A feeling that maybe I really wasn't doing enough, like she'd said. Maybe I am a bad friend. I slowly turned to face him again. I'm asking because I want to, not because she's forcing me to. Khan, are you doing okay? Seeming pulled from a thought, Kanari blinked and turned his head to look at me. Yeah, I'm fine, he said, rather coldly. Why? Already I was cursing myself internally. I shouldn't have. Nothing. You just seemed... I stumbled over my words. You looked down. So, I thought I'd see if you were, you know, doing all right. Kanari looked at me intently, raising an eyebrow. Oh, he said, the faintest of smiles coming over him. I get it. This is coming from her, right? She sent you to talk to me. Shit. I shook my head emphatically. No, because we literally just had an eternal thought. No, I'm doing this for me. Shit, that adds up, he continued, almost chuckling. I thought you'd been acting weird lately. I cut him off. No, Khan, I began, forcing as much conviction into my voice as I could manage. Nobody asked me to talk to you. I have no idea what you mean. Okay, don't lie. Kanari's faint smile faded. Seriously? You're gonna lie about it? He asked, sounding offended. We're friends, right? I know it was her, Aram. It's so obvious. Everything stays between us. Just tell me what she asked you to say. I couldn't keep his gaze, so I looked away, shaking my head once more in denial. Kanari let out a long, slow breath. Whatever, he said, looking... God damn it! Just fucking communicate! You know what's awful? I'm not even a little bit surprised she would resort to something like this. She has her hands all over me. Can't do anything without a damn lecture. Kanari rested his head on one hand. Let me tell you something, Aram. You know how I am. I'm lazy and rude. I don't take anything seriously. But it's because I don't care, or it's, like, below me. Kanari smiled apathetically. It's because I'm just not worth very much. And I know it, too. Whenever I think about doing something, I mean, really trying at something, giving it all my effort, you know? I remember that. I remember how little it matters. That out of all the things people do on this island every day that matter, I make pottery. My very best is just an afterthought. Something you look at once passing by, and forget the second it leaves your sight. That's why I won't ever amount to anything more than I am right now. I made quite sure of that when they put me in the kiln. You get it, right? I'm beyond fixing. Prava would be a whole lot happier. She'd just steer clear of me. I've always thought that. Why don't you go tell her? I opened my mouth. God damn it, Arm. Do something. The first thing that came to mind was an elevator. I pictured hundreds of windows and doors, sound of metal echoing for miles as ancestors stalked me endlessly in the darkness. I pictured humans that lived long ago, their struggles and suffering, piles of bodies just out of my sight. The thought that I might round a corner and find a room full of corpses, missing bodies, a world without hunger, fields of grass that stretched out of sight, without a coastline. Oh God, I'm such a fool. There's absolutely nothing I could possibly say. would offer even a hint of comfort to anyone on this island. Sachita is wrong. Rava is wrong. This is between her and Kanari. They'll sort it out because I can't. I'll find some other way to keep Rava quiet. I don't have the time to interfere because my obligation is the most important of all. Yes, without me, the settlement won't survive. Without me, nothing else matters. Buddy, you're developing a complex, and it is absolutely going to come back and kick you in the butt. Once, she'd taken me to the beach. Yes, we watched the waves together, my mother and I. The girl tried to remember why. Why? She hadn't asked for it. No, it was... Oh, yes. She'd memorized all the names of the bones in the hand. That's what it was. Her mother had picked her up and spun her around in the air. Oh, I love you, Prava, she'd said. I love you more than anything in the world. It had been her mother's idea. They had walked along the shoreline. The roar of crashing waves filled the air, punctuated softly by the sound of the sand crunching under her feet. Eventually, her mother found a place to sit. She picked the girl up and sat her down in her lap. And for that moment, she held the girl, arm around her chest. Watching the sunlight dance across the water toward the horizon, she didn't have a single doubt about why she was born, why she needed to take medicine as her obligation. None. It was all for that. Are you almost done? Kanari was resting his head on his hand, leaning against the table to the girl's left. Aram and Sachi are waiting for us. The girl shook her head, scratching away at the papers lying on her own. No, she said resolutely. I need to take down the rest of the diagrams. If I don't do it now, I won't memorize them. Kanari nodded slowly. Brava, he began. Do you really like it? Medicine. The girl kept writing, eyes down. Do I have to? Kanari went quiet for a moment, thinking about his reply. No, I guess not. He chuckled. Why put so much into it, then? You must stay late every day. There was a pause in the girl's writing. Her hand wavered. She quickly continued. Someone that I... She trailed off. It means a lot to her. I want to make her happy. Kanari nodded, staring off into space. After a moment, the girl spoke again. Don't you have a reason like that? If they say you're unfit, and you have to break your obligation, wouldn't you be... The girl realized she'd been drawing the same line again and again. Upset? Kanari smiled. Well, yeah, of course. But I'd be upset because I'd really like to become a wound bearer. Maybe it doesn't seem that way, but I really do like it. It's the one thing I'm good at. I like the idea of keeping people safe. The girl stopped writing. She looked down at the page before her, studying the many symbols and diagrams. It's your mom, right? The girl was embarrassed at how easily he'd guessed. You know, Prav, I don't think you should push yourself to do something only because you owe it to somebody else. Your mom, she loves you. She would love you even if you weren't cut out to be a nurse. Even if they deemed you unfit. Yes, the girl thought. Yes, that must be true. Even if I can't become a nurse. Even if I don't want to. She would. Wouldn't she? Later that day, as she had every day as of late, the girl made a list of all the mistakes she'd made. Simply tracking wasted time wasn't enough anymore. The girl knew she had to pay. For each and every one, for each mistake. She took out a stone, one she'd found lying in the courtyard. The edge was sharp like a knife. It had been perfect. She gripped the stone tight and made small cuts along her upper arm. If it didn't draw blood, she did it in the same place twice, 3 times, as many times as it took. She'd broken a needle stitching, and so she made a cut. She'd been last to answer a question regarding the throat and lungs. She'd known the answer. She knew it. For that, she made 2 cuts. She'd been distracted and forgotten to take down the circulatory diagrams from the day's lecture, so she'd stayed late. She stayed late to do it, yet wasted away the afternoon with him instead. For that, she thought, she deserved 3. So she lifted the stone again, shaking, and held it just above her skin. Something made her hesitate. Just for a moment, she couldn't bring it to her arm. Yes, whenever she thought of him, she hesitated. Sometime early after she'd finished, she stood and leaned against the storage room wall, shaking. She fought simply to stay upright and keep from crying. What would he say? What would he think about her if he knew? Oh, Canary. In those moments, she imagined another life. She imagined somehow becoming a wound bearer instead, so that she could follow him and be by his side. Yes, maybe if he was around all the time, maybe then she could put down the stone, put it down and never pick it back up. I jolted awake, choking. I clutched at my throat, feeling as though I couldn't breathe. Gasping, I sat up, trying not to panic. I focused on taking long, deep breaths. Slowly, my trembling torso sank forward until I was resting my head between my knees, waiting for it to pass. So then, today will be a hard day. I don't need your help with anything like that. It'd been the look in his eyes. Stop asking about it. The look of disgust, of disdain. It was that look that terrified me. He's pulling away. He doesn't want to be around me. I felt my heart race. The feeling of choking returned. If I'm not careful, it will all come back. I'll remember it. That day. Every agonizing second. Prava, honey. You look sick. Are you feeling okay? I looked up and Sachita was there. She was sitting by the edge of my sleeping mat. She had one hand tucked under her knee, and the other pressed against my forehead. Her voice was soft and tender, like it so often was. I couldn't bear looking her in the eyes. Yes, I said, quietly. I'm fine. I'm sorry if I made you worry, Sachi. Sachita shifted her weight and frowned, moving her hand under my chin. Prava, she said delicately. If there's ever something that's weighing on you, I'll always be there to listen. Just say the word. I'll drop everything I'm doing. I suggest to sit by your side and listen. And if it's something you need my help with, I'll do anything I can do. I tried to focus on what she was saying, but it was like listening to someone speak underwater. You know that? That was a question. I nodded, slowly. Sachita ran her hand through my hair gently before resting it on my shoulder. She lingered for a moment and then stood, dusting off the hem of her dress. I'm sorry. I need to go, Prava. I'll see you tonight, okay? Sachita watched me for a moment more, before turning and walking towards the stairs. But after a few steps, she stopped and turned to face me once more. Prava, I know it might be something that you don't want to talk about, and I respect that, but I worry about you sometimes. I worry that you're carrying around something really heavy. It's so heavy that it's crushing you. It's crushing you and making you hurt. I care about you, Prava. You're like my sister. Just think about what I'm saying, okay? You aren't responsible for shouldering it all up by yourself. She waved and was gone. After some time, I looked down at my hand. Not the good one. The other. I looked at the hideous stumps where my fingers once had been. The horrible mess it now was. Not responsible. I almost felt like laughing. He couldn't possibly understand. That nothing I could ever do for him would be enough. Nothing I could ever do would make up for it, for what I did to him. The sky had been so beautiful that day. The day it happened. The girl had watched the clouds slowly go by overhead and looked out at the settlement stretched before her, bathed in golden light. From the roof of the Lyceum Hall, the small group could see everything. It had been Kanari's idea, of course. She didn't want to be there, wasn't allowed. She told Kanari over and over, but he just laughed. As he'd taken her hand and pulled her up off the makeshift ladder, thrown so casually against the balcony below, the ladder they'd all helped to make. He'd been smiling, almost giddy. The girl looked to the others, Aram and Sachita sitting against a chimney. She saw just how much they too seemed to be enjoying this small act of disobedience. What could she have possibly said? What choice did she have? No, stop. Not now. Not today. He hadn't spoken to me yet that day. We stood close in line, waiting for the day's ration. I wasn't hungry. I hadn't eaten the last 2 meals anyway. 3? That, and I tried to remember the last time I'd bathed. How many hours I'd slept in the past week. What does it matter if he's unhappy, if he's suffering? I should be too. And Ari looked around idly. And for a moment cast his gaze back at me. We met eyes for a brief moment, and I smiled. Nari's face twisted for a moment, but he managed the faintest of smiles in return. Quickly, he dropped his eyes and looked elsewhere. I'd known it for a long time, how I'd been kidding myself, thinking that somehow, in some way, he was happy here at the kiln. No, anyone could tell that he isn't. This is the life that I gave him. I left him with absolutely nothing else. That's why I have to be there for him. I have to care for him. I owe him much more than I could ever give. I tried to keep my thoughts occupied with just that, but whenever I let them stray, I thought about the rooftop, the color the sky had been, and it made me feel sick. It took all that I had not to bend at the waist and lose what little is in my stomach. Oh, that's W-A-I-S-T, guys. Just heads up. Thinking about the naive, stupid girl. It was the way she'd simply gone along with it. And Canary had climbed a windowsill, using it as a step to reach the next rooftop. I need a drink. He wanted her to follow. He wanted to get even higher up. "Brava," he called, standing by the edge with his hands on his hips. "Come on, you should see the view from up here." He'd asked her in particular. That's all it was. For that little gesture, the girl shoved her fears aside and followed, reaching for the windowsill. All the while, Aram and Sachita laughed somewhere to her side, engaged in their own conversation. Heights had always made the girl nervous, but Canary saying her name was all it took. All it took to go against her better judgment, just for the opportunity to be close to him. Oh, God above, I wanted to scream at myself, and tell her to stop. Stop recalling that day under the sky. I bit down hard on my tongue, trying anything I could to focus on something else. The pain made my hands shake. I blinked and saw that I was painting right over the work I'd done the previous day. I realized I didn't recall how long I'd been painting. What it was I was supposed to be painting. What was I? My heartbeat was a constant throbbing rhythm in my ears, and it blocked everything else out. There was no sound, just my own thoughts. Other apprentices and journeymen would pass by, and I would see them out of the corner of my eye. They drew near, and my pulse accelerated. I was terrified. What do they want? They've come to hurt him. I looked over at Canary next to me, sitting and painting quietly. I won't let anyone hurt him. I'd do anything. Anything. Because if I lost him, I don't know what I would do with myself. I felt sick again. Does he hate me? What if he hates me? What if he doesn't want me around? Something caught my eye and pulled me from my thoughts. To my left, Canary winced, retracting his hand from the vase as if in pain. Without even a moment's hesitation, I spoke. It was like a reflex. If I ever saw that Canary was troubled, I had to do something immediately. I had to. Does your hand hurt? Do you need to take a break? I'll cover for you if... I knew I'd made a mistake before I'd even finished speaking. I saw Canary's face twist in frustration. His eyes cold and distant, he put his hand in his lap. "No, Prava," he spat. "Why don't you stop looking at me and pay attention to your half? I saw you paint over the trim. You'll ruin it." Where Canary was standing hadn't been high enough, evidently. He wanted to take her higher and higher, to the very top of the building, where the view was like nothing else on the island. The girl followed, taking his hand again and again, spurred on by his laugh, his smile. It hadn't occurred to the girl just how high up they'd climbed. But at last, the base of the bell tower came into sight. It's because of that day, Canary and I, neither of us are fully alive. We're missing something, each, both incomplete. A crowd of hungry, weary apprentices filed around us as we stood in the street. I faced him, hands clasped at my waist, trying to think of something I could say, but the din of voices filling the late evening air with conversation fact that against such a wall of noise, still there was silence between us. It spoke every word. So instead, I lifted a hand and waved, smiling with everything I could. Kanari's eyes darted around, as if searching for somewhere to look that wasn't my face. At last, he settled on staring at my feet, and that was all. He turned and walked off, disappearing into the crowd, and just before he was gone from sight, he waved over his shoulder. As I stood watching him leave, I knew then that I was that girl on the roof all over again. That girl who climbed ahead of Kanari. Uh-oh. Standing proudly on the ledge just above him. She'd been so excited. Her nerves had disappeared. Yes, the roles had been reversed. Now it was her turn for once to extend a hand to him, and so he took it. Taking one foot off a windowsill below, the girl leaned in, his weight heavier than anticipated. To balance herself, she'd taken a step backward onto a loose brick. And that was all it took. A stumble, a loss of footing, for just an instant. That was all it took for the girl to release her grip. Yes, the sky was so beautiful. So beautiful. The day she looked to her hand, now empty, and then over the edge, watching plummet through the air the boy who had just been holding it. You finished it then? All right, that's. I think that's a good breaking point. Oof, this one was intense. You know, I could not put it down. You know how it is with this amazing game that we are playing here. Anyway, geez, yeah, I really went at it. All right, until next time, citizens, I'm afraid it's gonna have to be farewell.